Okay, so now, oh, but see, this is why I needed to hear it. Because, all right, because I have audio playing, and I wanted to make sure that I was not playing the desktop audio too loudly. So I guess the mix is okay. So maybe I can just presume not going to be bad. All right. So I think this might work. So I was looking for, well, first it's Friday, March 16th, 2018. And this is the first time I've been using OBS Studio to make a video cast or whatever. And so I'm still learning the ropes with this. And I haven't done any kind of video editing in a very long time. And when I did it, it was extremely limited. And don't remember how it went. I don't even remember why I did it. Probably for something like this. And then I stopped. Anyway, so, and I'm just keeping the headphones on so I can hear the music that I'm playing. So, and I saw that when I looked at YouTube, you have to, gives you the opportunity to use free audio for your videos so that you don't get any takedown notices. And I already had this going on my playlist on Google Play Audio. This is Ministry's new album. And so anyway, we'll just see how this goes. I don't even know if I'm going to upload it. Anyway, so actually I got this working before I even finished a list of topics that I wanted to talk about. So I will just improv. So the first one is my glasses. So you might have noticed I posted, if you follow me on social media, I got some glasses. You can see how pretty they are. Actually, let me get rid of this. It's blocking the way, so I can't see the whole thing. Anyway, so here you go. My first pair of glasses. Why isn't this in focus? Come on. So the eye doctor said that I would probably need to get some bifocals before too long, but he thought right now I could just make do with this. So there really isn't a lot to say about the glasses, except you see them now, and they're not bad. I thought, well, at least I only need to wear them when I'm driving at night. But then I found that they work really well all the time, or most of the time. Like when we watched the Oscars not too long ago, I realized I could see it 2 rooms away, which was sort of mind-boggling to me. I had no idea. And I'm sure everyone is probably like that to a degree when they first try some kind of corrective vision device. So I'm glad to have them. And even now, especially because I have multiple monitors and they're far enough away, the eye doctor said I probably didn't need them when I need these when I use a computer. And he thought, I guess because most people are so close to their computers, their computer monitors. But mine are pretty far away because I have multiples, and also my laptop, literally my laptop has my keyboard on it. I don't type on the desk, so I can use the front of my desk as a workspace. So the monitors are pushed back, and they're big, and the fonts and stuff are scaled up so I can see them from a distance easily, and so I don't strain my neck and all that stuff. This is probably so interesting for the 1 or 2 of you who are watching this, and you're probably people that I live with or have known for 15 years or longer. 20 years? Yeah, a lot longer than that. So anyway, The next one, what was the next one? Oh yeah, so, and I don't know. Again, these are sort of topics I have no idea if anyone's going to be interested in. It's not me expounding on politics or something about society. In this case, it's audio interface issues. So I know at least one person who would be interested in hearing about this. So I had a MOTU A28 MK2 that I bought in 2006. And if anyone knows about that model, it's big, has lots of I/O, so you could record a drum set with it, as well as a vocal and a guitar simultaneously. And you can also, it's really good for live sound situations because it has a lot of outs and probably a lot of other cool capabilities that I've never used and am probably not very versed in, so I can't really tell you about them. But anyway, so it's more than I needed, and honestly, I think in 2006, I don't know if it was as complex as the rest of them, but it is reasonably complex. And it seemed like the software that came with it, I use it on Windows, was not actually, and I used it on Mac too, and I think the experience was pretty similar, but the software did not really make up the difference. Even with the software, there were certain things you had to do on the interface, and there were some things you couldn't do on the interface, and you had to use the software. And also, if the device were the default device, you couldn't open the software to do some things. So it was sort of difficult and painful. But it was supposed to be good electronically, so I think that's what I deferred to, was how good the engineering was in the design of it, or some of the design of it, the actual components, the internal components. Anyway, so I didn't find it very useful. Let's see what that is. That's nothing to interrupt the video for. So anyway, so I stuck with it because it was quite an investment. I think it was at least $600, maybe more. And it was FireWire. And part of the problem was when my Mac Pro died, I did not have a FireWire port anymore. And my primary computer at the time was a brand new beefy laptop from System 76. And it was supposed to be a desktop replacement. And it did not have any way for me to... That's nothing. And to add a FireWire port. And I tried... But it did have a Thunderbolt port, oddly enough. And so I got a FireWire 400 to Thunderbolt adapter and have been using that. And it was tricky. And I don't know if that was the only reason why I've been having problems, but I bet it has something to do with some of the problems I've had, plus the age of the unit. And I don't know about lifespan of these things. It's the only external audio interface I've ever used. So anyway, and it buzzed sometimes. It's unpredictable when it buzzes. I've tried replacing cables. I've tried switching different outputs. I use it as the main audio driver for my speakers, my external speakers, where all of my computer audio goes. If I watch video or anything, it all goes through these big, well, now it's a PA system. It used to be some recording monitors, but now reference speakers, whatever. I don't know what they're called. I would call them monitors for home recording or studio recording, studio monitors. There you go. So I did have those, and if I could, I guess I'll try and, well, I don't know if I want to mess with the camera. I'll try and figure out a way to show the studio monitors. Anyway, they're about this big. Decent. Sounded really good. Can really fill the room with some noise. Alesis ones. What is it? M1 Active. 520 M1 Active. So those were great. But then I wanted I didn't have a bass amp or a guitar amp. And I didn't want to buy a bass amp and then be without an amp to play guitar through, so I ended up getting a decent PA system, Mackie Thumpers, a pair of those, and a Mackie board, 802 VLZ3. And so I've been using that to play all the computer audio. And so now I finally got to the point where I'm really wanting to do some music composition, some music production at home. I've played around with it in the past, but usually it's been here and there. I would play a song, or I would have a project and do something with it and put it down after about a month. But now I've been seriously trying to get some, get the setup the way I want it and try to use it for a number of purposes. Maybe playing live someplace and taking it out. Also, something where I can really get good audio recordings with a microphone. And I have not been able to do that for various reasons. And I've tried recently, and a big problem was the buzzing, and it would just cut out. It was like some kind of interference, which it wasn't interference that whose source I could discern, because there was nothing else happening except for recording. And it seemed like the busier it was, the more audio tracks, or the more tracks that were being recorded. But it's hard. Anyway, I stopped trying to figure out why it wasn't working properly. But when I realized I couldn't even reliably record with the microphone, vocals on the microphone, for only a 3.5-minute song, that was frustrating. I realized I needed to get something else. So I was looking for equipment over the last couple of days, and over the last couple of years, every once in a while I would check in and see what the prices were and what was available. This is Beck's new album. I love it. This is the title track, Colors. Anyway, so I sort of knew, I had an idea of what I wanted. I thought that there was something well under $500 that would fill, the gap here if I were to take out the MOTU. And so it came down to 3 interfaces. One was a Behringer. It was $200 at Sweetwater and everywhere else. I'm sure the prices are within dollars of each other whenever you look, unless it's some big sale, which I almost nothing I want has ever been on sale at Musician's Friend or Sweetwater or Newegg. Anyway. So, but at Sweetwater, there were 2 that were $199.99. There was a Behringer, there was a Zoom, and I was pretty confident I was going to get the Behringer. I was confident I was going to get 2 of those, because at this point I'm trying to save some money. And there was a Focusrite Scarlett 6i6 that was $250, and it looked like it had the same specs as the Behringer and the Zoom, but it was $50 more, even though it looked like it was probably the better reviewed unit and had the better build quality and everything. But I thought I would, do a little more investigation of the Behringer, because it's German and it was red, and I like that it's German and red, and it's the components. The chassis is metal. The knobs on the front, I think, are metal. And it just seemed like it had a better build quality. Actually, no, sorry, I'm thinking of the Scarlett, the Focusrite Scarlett. The Behringer, actually, once I started looking at it, it said the front of it was sort of cheap, and the knobs were light plastic. It wasn't also, it didn't get tons of reviews either, and they were sort of lukewarm. They were better than average, I guess, but nothing stellar. And then I was looking at the Focusrite, and because the reviews were so much better, and it seemed to have a much better reputation. Now, this is the 2nd generation of the Focusrite Scarlett 6i6, but they've been around for a long time, and the mic preamps were really good, and I'm trying to focus on mics, live audio, and so I called the guy at Sweetwater, and we spoke, and I asked him some questions. Also, I inquired about the digital I/O, because I have come to see that that's sort of important. And also, it was interesting because the when you take the digital I/O out of it, you can get away with getting a decent audio interface for home studio with all the ins and outs that most people would need for not that much money, even probably $50 or $75. Where it tends to get expensive is when you definitely, by the time, well, it seems like the next tier up is adding MIDI to it. And usually if you've added MIDI, a lot of times it'll increase the number of I/O ports that you have, which will drive the price up. So MIDI makes it sort of expensive. Can you see my hand gestures? I want you to see what I'm doing with my hands. MIDI drives it up, and definitely when you add digital I/O to it, it drives the cost up. And since I figured that I really needed it, actually in this case I do need it, and I'll tell you why. But that drove the price up. So I didn't have to spend $200 or $250. I should say you don't have to spend $200 or $250 to get a good audio interface for home recording, but I did. And the reason I did is because now I have with my monitor setup and my whole AV setup here, I have a HDMI switch that I use to pipe through multiple audio and video sources to my monitor, my big monitor. And so that included, most recently, my Blu-ray player that I bought. So I have, I won't go into all the audio and video sources, but so the way I get my audio into it directly from my audio interface, my MOTU right now, is through the TOS-Link, TOS-Link, I don't know how it's pronounced, but TOS-LINK, the optical in and out. It goes out. So it goes out from the HDMI switch to the TOS-Link, the optical in on the audio interface, and then it sends the audio through the main outs to my Mackie mixer and sends the sound to the Mackie Thumper PA speakers. Without seeing a picture of it, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know, maybe you do. I would have a hard time following that. All right, and that was the last thing I had to say. All right, so anyway, I'm on the phone with Sweetwater, and the guy's named Mike I can't remember. Anyway, he was really nice. He answered my questions, so I ended up springing for the $250 Focusrite Scarlett 6i6, which looks like it has everything I need. Wow, is this like messing up the... I don't know who that was, but it wasn't as important as recording this. What else? I thought there was something else that I was going to say. Hold on. Can I think of anything? Oh, all right, I'll show you something. Last thing, maybe. So I ended up getting the clips from Google, the Google Clips camera. And this is it with a little rubber case on it. And it's a tripod. This is almost identical to the tripod that you can buy as an accessory, but I already had this from a little kit I got for one of my cameras that I bought a few years ago. And so there's a charging port for it. And this is really cool. I've been waiting for something like this to come along for a long time. And so there's almost nothing to do with it. What you do is you just set it someplace, and actually it's called Clips because it records clips, and I guess because it comes with this. It's a soft rubberized case. This is what came with it, and it has a clip. So you can clip it to something, or your shirt, or your jacket, or some thing somewhere. You just leave it there, and then it uses its own algorithm. I think this is the way it works, and then it just takes video and still photos whenever it thinks that there's something interesting going on. Maybe it's doing some face detection, and without you having to worry about taking photos, what I do with this, when my sons were at the counter getting breakfast one day, of course I wasn't just wanting to take pictures of them eating breakfast. I was thinking they're there, and then they might do something interesting. I shouldn't say that. They're always interesting in some way. What I mean is something I would want to take a picture of. So I set this up across the kitchen and pointed it at them, and voila. I mean, I came back later and synced it with my phone, which was really easy. I mean, it was automatic, really. I just had to be within distance. And then it took all kinds of cool pictures and candids and stuff. And the quality is awesome, and the field of vision is amazing. And the only button that's on it, there's something, can you see it there? Right there. So if you know you want to take a picture of it, like I have this, and I say, well, I want to take a picture of this. Oh, by the way, so you turn it on by twisting the lens. So I'm going to do that. You see that little green mark. So I turn it that way. The light comes on so that you're not completely taking everyone by surprise. Oh, is it out of battery? I think it's out of battery. Oh, no, it's not. There's the light. It tells the world that it is recording. Come on. Where is it? There it is. You see the light right there. And then you just set it someplace, and it's recording. And then if you say, well, I want to get, I'm not going to wait for it to decide there's something interesting going on. There is something interesting going on right now, and it's you, the camera, or the viewer, depending on how you look at it. So I press the button, and then some more lights come on. Oh, there it is. And so it's recording this. So maybe I'll upload what it took. Anyway, so that's that. I'll just put this over here. I'll get more pictures of me doing this. And why did the music stop? I don't know why the music stopped. I shouldn't really be worried about this. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that for now. That would just distract me too much from what's happening. Well, I've talked about 3 things in my short podcasting career. I've kept it to 3 topics, and I think I'm sort of satisfied with that. So I'm just going to stop. And next time I think I'm going to pull the camera back some and maybe zoom out. And no, that's not working. What's going on here? Anyway, so you can see my hand gestures, because I feel like I'm just a talking head, and I don't want to do that. I want this to be more expressive. All right, so I'm working on my technique. So we'll see if I can get it together enough to actually upload this. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have some 3 good topics to talk about next time. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to email me or leave a comment if you know how to email me. Well, I guess you probably do, because if I'm on YouTube, you can guess what my email address is, or somehow some other way to message me. Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.